Welcome back. So glad that you joined me today. It's interesting in the world that we're living in currently, or I should say, the times that we're living in, is we're not living in a different world yet. Times that we're living in, we've got some very new and very strange things that are happening. Some very strange trends that many of us never thought or never saw would even be thought of, especially growing up in the different times that we grew up in. But we're dealing with a very different generation and a very different thought process. One of these new thought processes that's coming across within social media is this: that people don't want peace, they want problems. Now, that's a lot to swallow, isn't it? God continually calls us in His Word to continue to be at peace with everyone and seek peace no matter what the situation. Now, I know many of us are going to be going to be watching this, and are going to say, that's a hard thing to swallow. That's a harder thing to even say that we're going to do, because it's one thing to try to make peace, and it's another to live in that peace as well. Despite what's going on, God continues to say, no matter what, try for peace at all times and in all situations, because that's how I'm asking you to live for me. Now, if God asks us to do anything, He reminds us continually through the scriptures that what He asks, He will back up with not just His word, but His presence and ultimately His power as well. When God makes a promise, let's remember this: that He not only binds it to Himself, but He binds it to all of eternity, making sure that we know that this is a secure thing and that we are sure with everything that's happening. Today's verse that we're taking a look at comes to us from Romans chapter 12 and verse 18. And it says this: it says, "If possible, so far as it depends on you, be at peace with all men." It's interesting, even with this verse, yes, the verse is very much taken out of context, because it's talking about different things that are happening in those times that Paul is writing to the church in Romans. But not only is he writing to the time and that church, he's writing to our times as well, writing a map out for us that gives us direction on how to look at things, how to respond to things, and ultimately what God calls us to do in every situation. Let's remember that as long as we're able to do things, let's continue to focus on peace alone, because things will be better and will change when we seek peace and not someone else's destruction. Thank you as always for joining me. I look forward to seeing you next time as we continue to study God's Word together. God bless.